But let's just give Emilio the 10 minutes to really take us through how we would go about setting up a company or a branch, or what do we need to do if we want to bring our business to Honduras. I welcome to the stage Emilio Castro.
Thank you, Marianne. Good morning, everyone. I am going to share my presentation. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a problem with my Marianne, can you please put me the sharing option?
That will be Daniela, who will have to give you the sharing option.
There it is. Sorry.
Yeah, perfect. We have it. Wonderful. Fantastic.
Can you see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So thank you, Marianne. Good morning, everyone. So Altia Business Park provides legal service consulting. We have over 10 years of experience. We have experts on the legal topics and taxing topics, which are very important for companies that are going to invest in Honduras. The main responsibilities for a CEO or a CFO when determining to incorporate a new company in Honduras are the main questions that they ask to us once we start the relation. Usually we schedule meetings with their lawyers and their taxing departments in order to determine which will be the best strategy and which will be the best structure of their company in Honduras. In Honduras, we have three main possibilities, three main options in order to incorporate a company. The first one is the limited liability company, which requires a minimum capital of 5,000 lempiras, which is equivalent to $200. The person that's going to sign the deed must appear before a public notary. And these companies are usually based with a general manager. That's the person that's going to be directing the company. One important thing of the limited liability company is that the transfer of shares should be through public deeds. So that's the main difference from the next company that I'm going to explain. The second one is the public limited liability company. It has a minimum capital of 25,000 lempiras, which is equivalent to $1,000. The person that's going to sign the deed must appear before a public notary. And the main difference with the limited liability company is that the public liability company has a board of directors and has a general manager. Usually, the companies have their main executives within the board of directors and name and give a POA to a local general manager in order for him to direct the company within the Honduran location. A particular thing with the public liability company is that the shares can be transferred by endorsement. No deeds are required to proceed and transfer the property of the company. The third option is the single-owned company. This was made through reforms of our Commerce Code. Now we don't need to have two shareholders within a company. One company can be incorporated through a single-owned sole member. No minimum capital is required. It does not require public deed, and the general managers could decide if the owners of the company could decide if you have a board of directors or if you have a specific general manager. So our new clients have been deciding for this single-owned company because it's easier to manage it and it's easier for them to decide which strategy they're going to use in order to direct and administrate their company. This is one of the main questions that we have once we start with our clients. They usually ask if they can incorporate their local company within the Honduran location. And our Commerce Code has made several reforms. We can incorporate a foreign company. We just need three main requirements. The first one is that the foreign companies may be incorporated in Honduras through a certification extended by its board of directors, authorizing its incorporation in Honduras. The second thing is that the apostille of the certification is going to be presented on the local registry office, and then they have to extend a POA for a lawyer, for a local lawyer, in order for him to incorporate the company. We just had last week an experience with an Indian company. We just sent the draft of the POA for them to sign it in India, and they have the apostille ready, and we're expecting this week to receive the documents. And once received, we think that it's going to be around 3 to 5 days in order to incorporate the company. So it's very easy for us to work with several companies that are throughout the world. Okay, so what is a free zone regime? The free zone, it was created to promote and encourage national and international investors to incorporate their companies in Honduras. Altia Business Park is the operator of the free zone. The law states two conditions. One is the operator and our tenants are the users. So Altia is the operator and is in charge of the customs, is in charge of the maintenance, is in charge of everything related to the operation, and our tenants or users are only in charge of their own operations. This is a very important part of the operation in Honduras, the taxing part. We have direct and indirect taxing that are income tax, minimum income tax, tax on net assets, solidarity contribution, sale tax, which is the same as value added taxes, and municipal taxing. Another important thing is that we are under a principle of territorial income. Therefore, our taxing law states several withholding taxes figures. One of them is the professional fees and services that the company that is hiring someone for professional fees, it should retain a 12.5% of the income that the person is receiving. And this is one of the next point is very important because it's a very frequently asked question related to the non-residents. Usually our clients ask us, what would happen if they send their CEO or their CFO or some of its executives from their main company to Honduras? The answer is, if this person receives an income from the Honduran company will retain a 10% or a 25%, depending on the contract services and depending on the income that this person will have. So it is very important for us to detail this, because when the foreign executives come and they receive an income from the Honduran company, they will be retained from their income. Another important thing is that the dividends and the profit sharing are to be retained. The local companies retain a 10% of the dividends and the profit sharing. Once this money is moved to the main company in the world, right? Withholding to employees. Employees are to be held with a 15 or 25%. It depends on a scale that is related to the income that the employee has throughout the year. These are the main and the most attractive things about being within a free zone. The local law states that the companies that are users or operators of free zones have 100% of income tax, net assets, and solidarity contribution exemption. They have 100% exemption on sales taxes, which is, as I said, is equivalent to the VAT. They have 100% of municipal taxes, 100% of customs for import and export. We have several examples. Most of the companies, they try to import their headphones, their computers, and other stuff. So this is 100% exempted from taxes. And additionally, Honduras has a different trade market agreements, so the companies could benefit from this agreement that Honduras has. The free zone obligations are not that much, and it's very easy for the companies within the free zones to operate. They just have to present like semi-annual reports containing the total investment, the jobs generated, and the amounts of salaries paid throughout this period, and state the import and export reports throughout the semi-annual period. The second point is that they have to present an annual renovation of the tax exemptions. Even though the companies are incorporated to the free zone, the law requires the companies to renovate annually these tax exemption certificates. Another important thing is that the company should acquire a customs code for them for their import and export process. And the fourth point is that the company should hire a local and tax firm for them to have their accounting and their taxing obligations. As Andrea said, we have two main figures related to the labor force. The first one is the permanent contracts, which have a minimum wage. There's a specific minimum wage for the free zones. The second point is that we have the severance payment for this type of contract. We have the 13-month bonus, which is paid in December, the 14-month bonus, which is paid on June, vacation periods, and Social Security register. The difference with the hour rate is that all the legal benefits are to be paid monthly, and it represents a 20% additional fee on the salary that the person receives. But the thing, as Andrea said, is that the benefit is that when you require to end the relationship with the employee, you can do it freely without having to pay any additional benefits. So this is the basic process that a company is going to be required in order to be incorporated within the free zone. The first step is that we are going to help them with their legal incorporation in Honduras. As I said, we usually schedule meetings with the taxing and legal departments of the foreign companies in order to define a strategy, in order to define what works better for them, and which is going to be the best figure to apply and incorporate the company. The second step is to obtain the registration tax number. The Honduran companies are required to obtain this registration tax number because it's the number that is assigned by the government in order for the companies to pay their taxes. As I said before, this is only a requirement because the free zone companies are exempted of almost every taxes that our tax code has. The third step is that we sign a lease agreement with Altia Business Park in order for us to start the process of the incorporation within the free zone. The fourth step is the free zone registration process. This usually takes 3 weeks. This process contains all the previous information as the legal incorporation, the registration tax number, and a projection of the investment that the foreign company will do within the Honduran location. And the fifth step is the customs code for the import and export process. It usually takes around 2 weeks. So in our experience, usually around 1 month and a half, 1 month, 15 days, we could have the full incorporation. We could have the company ready for the operation and ready for contracting their employees and start their operation smoothly in Honduras. This is the basic process of the operational in the free zone incorporation. Thank you very much.